Mello Testa in here this morning. So I did have a guy earlier this morning say, wouldn't it be great if maybe someone who makes vodka using Herkimer Diamonds were to come up and actually sit on your park bench for real? Talking about Dan Aykroyd. Wouldn't that be something?
I've heard that story.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be pretty cool. Because he spends time up here. He likes the... he's an odd guy, Dan Aykroyd, in a good way. He's kind of an odd guy.
Oh, you have to be.
Yeah. So, okay, what happened? So you've had these statues of the Blues Brothers out on your camp lot for how many years? 18 years?
18 years,
all
correct.
Right. And all of a sudden, a new owner of the property
Correct.
came in and said, what?
That's how it happened. And it's now being... I don't want to call it backtracked or whatever, but
Well, you're fearing that you're being called a liar here.
I've heard that, but I will never call anyone else a liar.
Yeah. Okay.
I will never do that. That's just not me. But I don't know if it's more of the kind of attention that this has received that may have caused a lot of people to look at this differently. I mean, like I said last week, and many other news outlets and people.
Yeah, you were all over that. I mean, this story went viral.
It
nationwide.
Well, it's more than that. I did receive messages from a gentleman in Italy, and
wow,
and in other places. You know, it is phenomenal. I mean, the whole thing started with some shoreline improvements, which we know need to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And the new, I thought he was the manager, but I guess now he is part owner.
All right.
That was told to me through the media. But he came in kind of strong. And
so we want everything cleaned up.
Everything cleaned up. And a lot of people asked anything in particular. And I'm just going to tell one story that should probably tell it all. And I'm not going to say whose camp I was at or who did all this because I don't have their permission to do so. But my wife and I were at a friend of ours' camp, and one of the people that work at the camp or have something was bringing a paper around explaining all the changes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be a little community meeting. And my friend asked him, anything in particular that you're looking at that needs to be changed? And his words were, take the Testas, for example. So my friend stopped him right away. Oh, meet Mello and Cindy Testa. The guy had no idea who we were. I wish my friend would have shut up because we would have got more information.
Right.
But his face turned as white can be, and the conversation pretty much ended. So since that point, I felt I'd been somewhat of a target.
What is your property? When we see this is a lot, so what do you have? Is there a camper you put on it? Is there a?
I have a trailer that I put there 20 years ago.
Okay,
and we built a house around it, or an addition, I'll call it.
Got it.
Fully approved by the town.
Mm-hmm.
The improvements that we made to the shoreline, I didn't get a permit. I didn't know it was required.
Yeah.
But in 2007, the APA came through and did a shoreline inspection.
Mm-hmm.
They pointed out 2 areas that I needed to address. We addressed them. They came back. They inspected me. And the Blues Brothers were there. The fireplace was there. The shoreline rocks and stone that I put there, all that was there.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is, 10 years later. It may be a problem. And I'm done with it. I mean, I removed them on Sunday.
Okay, so they are.
You won't
if you're
on Monday. I removed them Monday.
If you're on the boat up on the lake there, you're not going to see the Blues.
Not going to see them anymore.
So,
we had an epic send-off.
That's awesome. I saw the video. They came to life. It was like magic. It was, it was amazing.
Yeah, and that was a group, the Rome, New York Blues Brothers.
Yeah,
they called me. I didn't call them.
I like those guys. They're
good.
And
they came up and they spent 3-4 hours there. Did a couple of shows. They waited for the big tour boat to come by so they'd get the most attention. And the people flipped out because they assumed their position in the chairs. And as boats came by, they were waving at us, but then Jake and Elle would start waving, and
they're real.
Wow,
yeah,
that's cool.
And then they're clapping, and it was just a great day.
They probably thought all those years those guys were so drunk they're not moving,
That's
but
right.
no, they're alive.
Wow.
So we're past it now. I brought them home. My future there is still. We still don't know what we're going to do, but we do have a plan for the Blues Brothers, and I like to share that now.
Okay.
I had many calls from merchants from the Old Forge area. Obviously, they don't want to see him go because it's part of the Adirondacks.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan is, as long as we get all the approvals and everything in place, they're going to go back up to Old Forge, and they're going to spend 2 weeks in front of one restaurant, 2 weeks in front of a store, 2 weeks in front of the movie theater. We're going to move them around. I have to find a way to do that so not only the statues remain safe, but the people approaching them don't cause a problem. Yeah. And I don't want to do this without any official approval. I'm going to go knock on some doors and try to make that happen. And the Blues Brothers were about saving an orphanage. And what I want to do now is if someone or business wants to have them in front of their store, they're going to have to make a donation.
Got it. Okay.
To some charity that we will figure it out.
All right.
And those are the Testa family doesn't want anything about this. The Blues Brothers belong in Old Forge. When I found them on the streets of Myrtle Beach, they looked so relaxed, and I said, "That is the Adirondacks."
And how did you come about that? By the way, you're in. I know you do a lot of. You spend time in Myrtle Beach, like so many people. And
yes, they do.
The spring break.
It's amazing.
It's not Myrtle Beach. It's Utica South.
You can't go anywhere without bumping into someone.
There's no doubt. I mean, sit on the beach, and all of a sudden, hey, it's Utica walking by. So what was it? Were they for sale?
Yeah, they were on the side of the road at a place called Dick's Pawn Shop, and so. When I drove in on whatever day it was, they were in my mind 3, 4, 5 days. So on a rainy Wednesday, when everyone else was just moping around, I got in my car and took a ride down there. And I went inside and I said, I'm interested in those statues out there. And I said, but I live in New York. How do I get them there? He goes, no, those are. We've got dozens of them in the back. They're in boxes. They're not even unpacked yet.
Oh, really?
So I said, give me a price, ship to 13501, and they did. And I paid $1,300 18 years ago to have them shipped up here. They arrived at the shipping company behind Voss's. I went and picked them up, and when I took them out of the box, I could not believe that they really were mine, and they were really that big. Now, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So
and they were in the sitting position, right? They're in the.
No, I knew where I was going to put them.
Okay.
Even before I had that platform set up. That was the spot for them.
Got it.
So what I did is I got them up there. We put them on our party barge and we laid them down.
Yeah.
I launched the boat and then I stood them up, and I came around the channel. And you're very familiar with it, Andrew. And there they are sitting on the front of my party barge, pulling into my dock. That's how I got them there.
That's funny.
And we unloaded them. We put them in that spot, and they've been out there all those years. We tell people they go south for the winter. We bring them in, of course. They don't leave them out. And then we put them back up in May.
And they're up through the summer.
And they're up for the summer, but no longer.
Wow. And you might not even continue the lease, right?
I am talking to. Actually, we had a real nice conversation yesterday, Mr. Barnes and I. He called me he lives in Bordeaux, France.
Okay.
And we didn't get together over the weekend, which I was kind of disappointed. But the tone has certainly changed. I can tell you that. I asked him a number of questions pertaining to my current situation and the possibility of the future, the possibility of me transferring ownership, either through give it to my kids or to outright sell it.
Yeah.
We are going to have another conversation, he told me, on Columbus weekend to close all those issues.
All right.
And we've kind of made a decision, but I'm not going to say that yet. But I just want to see how that meeting goes in October.
All right.
But as far as the Blues Brothers, regardless of what has been said now, and again, it's been reported that it's okay for them to stay, or they were never told they had to leave. Both of those things, they were told they had to leave, and if they were okay to stay, I was never told that to my face or in an email. It was told to other people. So we had a number of conversations and never said, you know what, if you want to bring them back, you can leave them there. That
you were never told that?
No.
Right.
So
that brings it right down to I've seen so many stories that are like this. You got to go to the person who owns the property, or at least has the lease on the property. You can't go telling other people and hope that it'll trickle down.
That's it. That's the whole thing. I mean, he has a job to do.
Yeah.
The park needed some serious attention, and he's going to do that. But he just came on, and I used the word. And it came back to bite me a little bit. Take baby steps and not Paul Bunyan steps. Referring to the famous
nice
Paul
little
Bunyan.
tie-in to Old Forge.
And now he says he has to take the Paul Bunyan steps because of
the fact that it's gone public
that I brought.
All right.
I apologize, and I know I didn't have to the camp owners that if this caused them any future problems. And one of them said, absolutely not. No need to apologize.
Yeah.
You helped us here. You helped us get some answers that we weren't getting. And I love Bald Mountain Colony. I love the ownership. They've been nothing but great to me.
Yeah.
Right, even till this past weekend.
Yeah.
But maybe my time there is maybe time to move on to something else. But they're gone. So
here's Megan on Old Forge. Megan, you're on. Go ahead.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Are you in Old Forge?
So I own the hair salon right on the corner of Crosby and Main Street.
Got it.
And the Blues Brothers are welcome to sit on our porch.
Okay,
we'll add you to the list.
I would gladly make a donation for you.
And she would gladly make a donation. How about that?
That's awesome.
Well, I will be visiting every place of business up there and introduce myself.
Excellent.
And hopefully we can put something together.
All right, good stuff, Megan. We hope to see the Blues Brothers at your place, all right?
That would be fantastic.
All right.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. And you know where that place is right up there?
Yes, I do.
Pretty cool.